Hey guys, Eitan. Today we're making pasta. We're making orecchiette, handmade with a beautiful wild mushroom garlicky cream sauce. It is going to be your new favorite pasta dish of all time. Like mine, it is heavenly, it is creamy, it is packed with flavor, and it is delicious. Let's get cooking. All right, first up, it is time to make the handmade orecchiette pasta. Over here I have some semolina flour, which is the type of flour we're going to use. Here we go. And now this flour only needs one other ingredient, which is some very hot water. Some would call it just boiling water, but you do you. Very hot to warm water. Now just start mixing that together and slowly incorporating more. And we're making a well so that the water doesn't leak everywhere. So it's kind of a good way to incorporate it without making a mess, which I am known to sometimes make. All right, this is now coming together. Now you obviously want to be a little careful in case the water's a little hot. And now just start kneading this together into a dough. All right, our dough has come together into a nice ball of dough. I'm now just kneading it to make sure it is fully incorporated. The texture of the dough that you're looking for is a dough that is nice and soft, super malleable, but not sticky to the touch. I'm now going to let this rest for about 10 to 15 minutes just to kind of chill. And meanwhile, I'm going to cut the mushrooms. All right, now over here I have 4 different types of mushrooms. These are wild mushrooms, and all you want to do is slice them up. So I'm going to start off with my shiitake mushrooms and just get them into a nice thin slice, getting rid of the stem. What I love about this sauce is you have all those beautiful types of mushrooms. They all have their own meaty texture, their own little bit of flavor, and it is just incredible. I'm a massive lover of mushrooms. Next up, I'm going to grab some oyster mushrooms, and for these I'm just going to cut off those great little tops over there. Next up, I'm gonna grab my maitake mushrooms over here. Now these are really interesting, kind of almost looks like coral reefs. It has just such an incredible flavor and just appearance and texture. Finally, now I looked what these are called, and apparently they're called beech, B-E-E-C-H. And now the last thing is I have 6 cloves of garlic. Now you might be like, Eitan, that is quite a lot of garlic. And the answer is, it is quite a lot of garlic because your boy likes a lot of garlic. So we're now just going to dice these garlics up. All right, that is now chopped. It is now time to form our pasta. This is one of the easiest pastas to make. You do not need any fancy equipment. All you need is like your hands and a scraper or a knife or anything like that. So I'm going to take a nice chunk of the dough and I'm now just going to roll it out. And basically what you want to start by doing is roll it out and then cut it into little balls of dough. Bam! Now take those balls of dough, take your little scraper, place it onto your surface, and then scrape it against the surface. It'll then turn into this little kind of curl. Uncurl it and use your fingers to invert it and create this beautiful little orecchiette shape. And bam, that's it. That's how easy it is. And just repeat with the rest. All right, I finished making my pasta. Now over here I have a large pot of boiling water, and now it's very important whenever you're boiling pasta to salt your water. You want it to be salty like the sea, and now I'm going to add in all of that handmade pasta into there. And now this, since it's handmade pasta, only takes about 3 to 4 minutes to cook, depending on how thick it is. So it is a much faster cooking time, which means the second this is in, now we're going to start working on our cream sauce. So to do that, we've already done a bunch of the prep. I now have a massive, let's just get the fire on, massive frying pan over here. And to that, I'm going to add in some extra virgin olive oil. Bam, bam, bam. I encourage you to get one of these. It is just so much fun. You can like do all those little things. Just get it. It's a fun little thing, probably costs a few dollars. Now, into there, I'm going to start by sauteing up our mushrooms. Now, you may notice I'm gonna saute up our mushrooms over here, but I'm actually going to leave a little pile of mushrooms on my cutting board because we're actually going to fry those at the very end to top it off with. So let's just leave these over here. And now over here, let's start sauteing these on a nice high flame. We really want to get a nice sear on them, get those brown bits, get that caramelized flavor. If you can't tell, I'm very excited. Check out our beautiful handmade pasta boiling. It looks like it is almost done. All right, so our mushrooms are getting a nice sear. Once they're almost done, the last step for the last few minutes of searing is add in our minced up garlic, and we're going to get that sauteing away. It is always important the different steps of cooking. If you added in the garlic right away when you added in the mushrooms, then they would have overcooked before the mushrooms fully cooked. So it's all about timing. All right, our pasta is now done. I just tasted one. It is nice and fully cooked. So I'm now just going to drain off the water, place it into a strainer while we continue making our sauce. All right, our mushrooms are now nice and sauteed. I'm now going to add in our heavy cream, which is the base of the cream sauce, and we're going to keep on cooking this on a high flame. And into that, we are now going to grate in about half a cup to 3/4 a cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Now you can use more cheese if you want it more cheesy. You can use less cheese if you want it less cheesy, although I can't possibly understand why anyone would not want it super cheesy, so I'm gonna go with more cheese. All right, now that my cheese is added, I'm now going to keep on stirring this, and we want to let it thicken. Now, a very important ingredient that a lot of people don't do enough is I'm actually going to now take some of my pasta water. Now you see that pasta water is kind of murky. That is all the starch from the pasta that was let off, and that starch will actually help thicken our sauce, and plus there's quite a lot of salt in there, so that will salt our pasta. And then right before you serve it, you can see if you need more salt, but the bulk of the salt should come from that pasta water. Now I'm also going to season pretty heavily with black pepper. I like to add in quite a lot. It is all about those seasonings. So we have our black pepper in there. Now, another little ingredient that takes us to a whole level is a little bit of nutmeg. This is an ingredient that I have not used enough in cooking all my 18 years on this earth, but it is now something that I really just love to just shave in a little bit of nutmeg. It adds an incredible little extra hint of flavor. Perfect. And then finally, the last little seasoning is some red chili flakes for a little kick of heat because, you know, I like my food a little spicy, but of course, you can leave it out if you do not want that level of heat. And I'll just keep on stirring, and we're gonna let this begin to thicken. It should take about 4-5 minutes. All right, our mushrooms look incredible. I'm now gonna turn off that flame. Now let's check on our sauce. Ooh, that has gotten nice and thick. So now it is time to add in our drained pasta in there. I like to add in the pasta when the sauce has about 2 more minutes left to cook, just so it can really soak up all that beautiful flavor. Now, this orecchiette has that shape on purpose. Those little divots in the pasta that you can see are gonna be perfect for catching up that sauce and catching up those little pieces of mushrooms. And I'm gonna let this simmer for another 2 to 3 minutes until it is even more thickened, and then it's eating time. Oh, how could I forget the last ingredient? Now, this is something you always definitely can leave out, but I think it just kind of adds a little fresh note to it, is I actually like to just grate in a little bit of lemon zest. Again, totally optional, but I just really think it adds a little fresh note to the dish. All right, I've cleaned up. Our pasta sauce has gotten nice and thick. It is my favorite time of all is eating time. Let's now serve this up. This is quite the pasta dish. It is a dish to impress. If you are cooking for a date, if you are cooking for your parents, or if you're cooking for friends, anyone you want to impress, be like, here is some real deal handmade pasta with a delicious wild mushroom cream sauce. Top it with some of our sauteed mushrooms. This just really kind of lets you be able to see what's in the dish. Now I'm gonna quickly grab from over here a little more red chili flakes. Again, just a little extra pop of color. And then finally, just a little extra hit of the lemon zest, just a little bit of some fresh oregano on top of there. All right, let's now dig in. Oh my gosh, I'm excited to eat that. Look at that, the steam wafting off. The smell of the seared mushrooms, a little bit of the lemon, you have the garlic. Let's just give it a try, I'm done talking. Wow. There is just something special about making pasta by hand. That extra little chew it has that is different from store-bought pasta is really incredible. This shape of the orecchiette perfectly picks up those little droplets of the sauce, picks up the little pieces of mushroom. My mouth is like salivating right now. That is how delicious it is. This is going to be one of your favorite pasta dishes of all time. The full recipe's on eitanbernath.com. As always, hit the like button if you enjoyed watching, and hit the big red subscribe button so you'll be the first to know when I post new YouTube videos, and to join the YouTube fam. Guys, like, you seriously need to make this. The flavor of the garlic, the mushrooms, the lemon on top, the cheesiness, it is like cheesy pasta heaven. I can't wait for you to make this. Be sure to send me a picture. If you need me, I'm gonna eat all of this. Bye.